Okay, can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me? Yep, yes, yes, maybe, no. All right, everybody's back. Hello, Michelle. I saw that you were the first one here, and you also said that you stayed up just to watch my live. So thank you so much. You're very sweet. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Dreamer. Hello, Cindy Lee. Yeah, Dave is now fully here. I was not here earlier. See, that's how Dave's not here. See. Hey, Saphira's mama. Long time no see. Haven't seen you in a long time. Um, yes, we have sound. I'm. It's been a busy week. How's everybody doing? I've had a busy week. I've been off work since Wednesday. When I got off work Wednesday, well, actually, I got off work Tuesday, and I was supposed to go into my last day Wednesday, and I showed up at the warehouse, and the van that I normally drive was gone, and I was like, huh. What in the world? Maybe the boss went out because sometimes she goes out early and gets some of the stuff done in between the time night shift ended and the time I start. And so maybe she was out in it. And so I went to go clock in on the app that I have for clocking in, and it said start unscheduled shift. And I said, wait a minute, today's my last day. I'm supposed to be scheduled. So I texted her and I was like, hey, did you not schedule me today? And she says, no, I figured I'd give you the day off so that you could relax. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. And she texted back, don't you start the new job tomorrow? I said, no, next week. So I, got an extra day off. So I actually got, 6 full days off. I go back to work on Wednesday to the new job. Hello, Connie. And hello, Ashley, Pink Poodle. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Spears Mama. Yeah, it's been, well, I don't know if you've been in my last few lives the past few weeks, but I haven't seen you pop up in there anyway. So it's probably been, well, about a year since I've seen you. Hello, Terry. Terry is Koala Crafts. So I'm working on Fire and Ice. This is part of Stephanie's Wolpack Diamond Paintings Wolf Along. I haven't really gotten a lot done, as you can see. I mean, literally, I have just that. I have not been too busy working on diamond painting lately. Um, Ever since the Zoom group enabled me into doing cross stitch, I've been busy doing cross stitch the whole time. Oh, okay, awesome, Spears Mama. Thank you. It's awesome. Yeah, that was my official return to YouTube. It's been a long year, let me tell you. But it's all down now, and I'm back to being me again, just me. So yeah, they've enabled me into cross stitch, and I have been busy working on Midnight's Garden by Carol Manning. There it is. Been doing that one, and I'm loving how it's coming along so far. It's really pretty. I'm about a little more than a third of the way through. I still have a lot of detail to do up in this corner, and then I got to do the same thing to all 4 other corners, and then I have a border to do all the way around the whole thing. Oh, thank you, Terry. Thank you. And I also kind of got a little busy with something else yesterday because I finally decided to try it out and see how I did. Because the first time I attempted, it failed miserably, and y'all didn't get to see that. But yesterday I decided it was time to try it again. And I didn't fail so miserably this time. I have a 7-month-old nephew who, together with my mom, look after most Fridays. He's now calling. Oh, wow. So, yeah, I didn't fail so miserably this time at the attempt. And in fact, I probably will try to do more of it in a future live soon. I've got to get some more supplies. And since it only took me about 2 hours or so, I figured it'd be perfect for a live. And I will try it again. And this is the result of my attempt. I decided I was finally going to do a Bob Ross painting. I can't touch it because it's still wet. It will be wet for another 2 or 3 days because it is oil paint. There's better pictures on my Facebook page. I know a lot of you are friends with me on Facebook. But yeah, I did that yesterday afternoon just because I felt like it was time to pull out the paints and the brushes, and I've been watching enough Bob that I felt I was ready to put it to test and see if I could do it again. And this time it worked. Yeah, maybe I am Saphira's mama. I mean, I'm going to say I'm proud of myself. I'm actually kind of in disbelief that I actually did that. I still look at it and go, did I actually do that? Because I didn't think I was capable of doing. I figured it was going to look a lot worse on my first attempt. And I was really, really surprised. Just amazing. I had some hiccups. I had some hard spots along the way. I had to blend out a cloud once because it was picking up all the blue and spreading the blue around, and it wouldn't come out like a cloud, and it was kind of a mess. But I got a couple of spots in there where I forgot to add background in certain spots, and I had to go back after I was done and kind of add them in, like in the very end where I shouldn't have. But you really can't tell. I mean, I can tell because I know what I'm looking for on it, but most people just looking at it casually would go, "Oh, that's great." No, there's a lot of mistakes in there. It was kind of funny because everybody that was in Zoom could actually watch me doing it from across the room because my camera was across the room. Hey, Rob, welcome back, Robert. Hello, Tanya. So I'm doing Fire and Ice for the Wolf Along. Got nothing done so far tonight or even in the past week, but we're going to get something done on it tonight. And then as soon as I'm done live, I'm going to cover it back up and pull the cross stitch back out. Most likely. I've also got some paint by numbers I need to work on. I was just looking at that today and I'm thinking, you know what? I need to work on the paint by numbers because I have not worked on that yet in a while. So maybe I'll pick that up. Maybe, I don't know. I might pull that out and work on it. I actually thought about pulling it out tonight and doing it. I was like, no, we're in the middle of Wolf Along. I'm not going to do it then. That's for rounds. That's for squares. Okay. I still have a paint by number here that I can't even pull out and do on camera yet because I'm not allowed to. What am I working on? What symbol? Oh, those. I'm Michelle. We also have a new fur baby. Mom rescued a 5 to 8 week old kitten at the end of September last year. She had been kicked out of the house because she was pretty sick. Oh, Dreamer, it was sent to me as part of my affiliate thing, but right after they all got sent out, we were told not to upload our filming of it yet because they were not going to offer them. And so it's still not being offered by that company, so I cannot unveil it publicly yet. Which is kind of sad because it's a really nice paint by number. I'm really impressed with it. I just haven't worked on it, haven't done anything with it. I've just unboxed it myself and looked at it and put it back in the box the way it was when it came in. So that way, when it is time to upload it, I can, and I can unbox it and film it as if it had never been opened. But it's very, very nice. She was emaciated, extremely dehydrated, chronic diarrhea, ulceration at the back of her legs, ulceration upper butt, tummy, and tail. She's now a healthy kitten. Well, that is awesome. Oh no, I'm under the knife though. Oh, that's not good. It's getting fixed. I've got to get Arya fixed still. She was in heat last week and drove me nuts, like she always does when she's in heat. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I got to get Arya fixed. I just haven't had the money to do it. I've got to find someplace here that will do it for free or cheap, but does it right. I don't want to get it done wrong. Not like I'm taking her to some back alley vet somewhere. Hello, Brian. Y'all keep Brian in your thoughts. He lost a friend this week and he's pretty upset, and we want to help him get over that soon because it's always hard, I know. But y'all keep him in your thoughts. Yeah, Dreamer, I need to. I've got the number. I just like every time I think about it, I'm not in a position to be able to call. And then when I am at home, I'm not thinking about it and I forget to, or I've got so much going on all the time. It's just, I need to get on it, get it done. I need to stop making excuses. But I have a busy life. Hey, Aussie Collection. Long time no see, bud. So, y'all, I've got an idea and I've been kind of throwing it around for a little while. And I think I may do it. I don't know yet. But maybe second half of this year, I'm going to do it doesn't have to be a diamond paint along. It doesn't have to be a cross stitch along. It can be any craft. But it'll be a crafting event and it will be music themed. So whatever project you work on will have music related of some sort. Um, that's my thought. I haven't, like, this isn't an official announcement. It's just a thought that I'm thinking of, and I'm still coming up with ideas. How many of y'all would be in for that? It just kind of popped into my head there that I was remembering that I had been thinking about that when I saw Aussie Collection because what he does for a living. So So yeah, a music themed craft along. Dreamer says she'd be up for it. It was just an idea because I've got plenty of music themed DPs in there. I have two customs that I ordered in 2019 that were pictures I took at the Metallica concert. I've got my Metallica Ride the Lightning album cover to do still. All right, Brian has one. All right, I guess I'm going to come up with a name for it at some point and get everything rolling and set up for it, and maybe make an official announcement soon-ish. Yay. Okay. Is this out of focus? No. Drills look out of focus. I was looking at that. I was like, wait a minute. I'm working on a Scream diamond painting now, 40 by 60. Well, that's tiny compared to the one the Kobe Bryant you were working on. I have a 50 by 75 of James Hetfield singing that I took at the Metallica concert, and I have a 60 by 80 of Robert, Metallica's bassist, standing like right in front of me in his classic pose, playing the bass. And I'd like to get both of those done at some point. They've been in my closet since 2019. And I really want to start getting rid of some of the stuff in the closet to make room for more stuff to put in the closet. Yeah, you know how that works, Terry. You know, you kind of got to get rid of the old stuff to be able to get new stuff. And a lot of these are stuff that I bought and I really wanted to do, but then I got more stuff that I really wanted to do, and then I got even more stuff that I really wanted to do. And some of the old stuff that I really wanted to do now needs to get done so that I can get more stuff that I really want to do. So that's why you've been seeing me lately working on lots of older projects that I've had for a while, because I'm trying to clear out all the WIPs. Now, this one wasn't a WIP. This one was a new start. but I didn't have anything. I wanted to participate in the wolf along, but I didn't have anything wolf related at all. If it had been an eagle along, I'd have been good to go. I got a couple of those. Hank is going well. Hank, he's up sleeping in the cat tree. He just heard his name. He just lifted his head up and went and looked at me. He groans like an old man every time he moves now. He's funny. Or anytime you try to touch him or wake him up or anything, he groans like an old man. Yeah, and he just groaned like an old man and put his head back down like, what? You called my name. What do you want? And you're not going to come do anything? Nope. Going back to sleep. Sounds like, yeah, I do quite a bit of that too here lately, Dreamer. The groaning like an old man every time I move. I think that just comes with, that comes once you get to 40, 45-ish, and then everything just kind of aches. And of course, I haven't been hiking for several months now, and I'm starting to get lazy again. I've noticed I'm starting to put on a little weight, so I'll be glad when springtime gets here and I can get out in the woods again and start hiking. My hiking buddy called me last night. He's in the woods last night. He's probably in the woods all day today in the rain. He was up in the Smokies last weekend. It was pouring down raining all weekend. I'm like, man, you picked the wrong weekend to go up in the Smokies. But backpackers will backpack through anything. Another buddy of mine hiked the Smokies in a snowstorm about a month ago. Dave is I'm a fair weather hiker. I'll admit it. I've got rain gear, but I dread having to put it on. I'd much rather go and be out there when it's sunny and warm and breezy and all the animals are out and it's really pretty and comfortable. How old is Hank now? He is see, I got him in 2019. In February of 2019, he was 3 years old then. So I'm going to estimate that he is 7 now. Probably 6 or 7. I don't know when he was born. All I know is he was picked up as a stray, and I got him in February of 19. So I always count his birthday as February 27th because that's the day I got him. And his paperwork that I got said he was 3 years old. I mean, I guess they can tell that by looking at their teeth or something. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to estimate he's either 6 or 7 right now. Hey, I'm done with that color. Yeah, it does time. It does fly by. Hello, Emmy Sue. Emmy Sue is the leader of the cross-stitching stitch-along. It's going to last all year. It's called A Year of Carolyn Manning 2023. She is the one who started that. Carolyn Manning herself is involved in it. That's what I'm doing the Midnight's Garden for. And y'all are welcome to come join us over there if you stitch and would like to work on a Carolyn Manning throughout the year at some point. We have a Facebook group for it. And Carolyn Manning is like really super cool. She even comments on pretty much every progress update I post. Well, that's right. It's summertime there for you, isn't it? Well, I now live in Alabama, so it's not like horribly cold here, but I think I have lost my adaptation to the cold that I had from North Dakota. So I'm I'm more like a local here now. So when it gets down to like 50, I'm chilly. It's been a stressful week. Becca's doing 3 weeks and she's been in and out of the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, it's cold there in Michigan, Cindy Lee, I'm sure. Oh no. Welcome to the life of having cats, y'all. End up having to constantly pick cat hair. I think I got it all. No, I got one there. I'm sorry to hear about that, Terry. We'll hope it turns out okay. And there's no like major issues other than maybe it's just going to be a short person. You have a parrot, constant feathers. Oh, oh yes, Fear's mama. You got yeah you've got cat hair for sure. I saw that, Emmy Sue. We were talking about that in Zoom. Y'all got a winter storm warning. You got all your milk and eggs and or milk and bread and toilet paper because you got to have the milk sandwiches, and then after the milk sandwiches, these cause lots of runs to the bathroom that you got to have toilet paper for. So make sure you stock up on milk, bread, and toilet paper. It sounds to me, Terry, like they're getting an ice storm there more so than snow. That will just cripple Dallas. An ice storm in Dallas would just cripple it. The same parrot dreamer? You know, I always said I want to get a turtle. Like a turtle would outlive me. I mean, it's quite possible with the number of years Hank has left and as old as I am. Well, I'm only 50, but to me, that's getting close to the end half of life. And it's quite probable Hank could actually outlive me. Well, I will be 50 in August. I'm not 50 yet, but you know, cats can live to be 20 some years old. So, I mean, Hank's only 7. You made beef tips and gravy with mashed potatoes and you didn't invite me. I'm, I'm sad. Beef tips and gravy sounds really, really good. I had Taco Bell. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. It's like I remember the difference. Like when I lived in Maryland, it was the same way. As soon as snow was announced, everybody went nuts. Tennessee, same thing. Down here, oh Lord, they really go nuts. But when I moved to North Dakota, it was like blizzard warning. Oh, that's just Tuesday. You know. Oh, cockatiel. Yeah, Saphira's mama. I have no health issues that I know of, but no, it's just one of those deals. I mean, I'm gonna be 50 soon, and cats can live to be 20 something, and Hank's only 7. So, you know, it's possible. I hope not. I mean, well, I don't want to say I hope not because I don't want Hank to go either. I'd be upset if I lost Hank, but at the same time, I hope he doesn't outlive me. I want to live to be 150. Thank you, Michelle. That's right. Y'all hit the like button. There's 18 of y'all in here, and there's only 7 thumbs up there. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was pretty good. Uh huh. Rub it in. Come on. You know, the bad part was yesterday, I was working on that painting and I got almost done. And somehow or another, it ended up with a cat hair in the painting. There was a cat hair like right in the middle of the bottom part of the mountain. And I was like, how in the hell did a cat hair get on here? It was 4 feet up off the ground and the cat nowhere near it. How did I get a cat hair on the painting? No, I picked it out with this exact same pair of tweezers. Because it was literally right there, right in the middle of the bottom part of the mountain. And you could see it. It stood out like a sore thumb. And I'm like, no, I gotta get that out of there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do another one of these live in my YouTube live one night, because I think y'all would enjoy it, watching it come together. I mean, I can't talk like Bob. I can wear the wig. In fact, I even wore the blue button-down shirt yesterday with the 3 buttons at the top unbuttoned. Had the jeans like he does, and had the wig. I look just like Bob. I will say I look just like Bob here. I'll show you all a picture. In fact, I can show you a picture that'll make it look better too. Damn, is my, oh, there I was before I painted it. And let's see if it shows up better on camera. On here, better than it does in person. Not really. Or better than it does on the thing. Not really, but yep. There it is. I'll tell you, my soul food that I really like in the wintertime is, I love a good bowl of chili. I love really good. I haven't had any this year yet. I've got a crock pot and I've got an instant pot, and I made a pot of instant pot chili. Oh, I would die to do that again. I need to get the ingredients. I need to find the recipe for it and make it the ingredients again. But I make this awesome casserole. You got to use the biggest casserole dish you can find. And it's just 2 boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese dinners, or even get the off brand. It doesn't matter. Whatever brand of macaroni and cheese dinners you like. Yellowed kind, don't get the white cheese kind. And then you need 1 green bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 yellow or orange bell pepper. You dice those up really small, and you take 1 onion, dice it up really small, and you take 2 pounds of hamburger meat or ground beef or ground deer. I've done it with ground deer before too, so if you're a deer person, ground deer will work perfect in this. And you take and brown your meat, and then you make the macaroni and cheese dinners like the box tells you to. So you make the macaroni and cheese. And then what you do is you mix in the meat and the macaroni and cheese, and then you mix together, you put the peppers and the onions, which sometimes I like to do the peppers and onions, and I like to cook them with the meat. And I always throw like maybe a tablespoon of minced garlic in with the meat while I'm cooking. And then I put the meat in with drain the meat, of course. And then I put that in with the macaroni and cheese and the peppers and onions. And then you take and put a can of corn in there, dump 1 regular can of corn in there, drained. And then you take 2 of the small cans of tomato paste, or 1 of the bigger cans that's equal to 2 small cans, dump that in there with it, and you mix it all up really, really good together. and then you pour that in the biggest casserole dish you can find, level it off nice and level, put it in the oven for about 30 minutes on 350 just to get everything warmed up and heated together. Take it out, and then you take a whole bag of, I use the 4-cheese taco blend. I take the 4-cheese blend and I just cover the top of it in a nice big thick blanket of cheese, and I put it back in the oven until the cheese melts. And you take it back out and you cut it in squares and serve it, and it is amazing. It's called Southwest mac and cheese. Hey, Berta. Yes, Diamond Bob. Diamond Bob. That's it. Any mention of cream cheese or similar consistency still causes nausea from my bout of gastro. Oh, I'm sorry. Because I love cheesecake, and that's made with cream cheese and sour cream and butter. But yes, a big pot of chili. I need to make a big pot of Instant Pot chili. I also like making pot roast in my Instant Pot. That's one of my favorite winter meals too. I haven't had that in a while because meat is so damn expensive that I can't afford to buy a 3-pound chuck roast. Yes, I do not know how to cook for just one person. I know how to cook for an army. And so I still do cook for an army, and then I eat leftovers for days afterwards. So I guess the cost kind of works itself out because I still end up eating all of it. I just do it over several days' time instead of all at one meal. So, in a way, I sometimes say it's now cheaper to eat out, but really, if I was to make it, I would have meals for a week, except the pot roast. The pot roast I can eat in 2 days. I can eat a 3-pound chuck roast and all the trimming in 2 days, in 2 meals. So, oh, okay. Cheesecake is fine. No problems there. Okay. I do make a killer homemade from scratch New York style cheesecake. I haven't made one in a while of that either. I need to get stuff, but that even gets expensive. It used to cost me about $20 to make one, but with the price of everything now, I'm pretty sure that price has doubled. I still can't figure out why eggs are so expensive. Everybody says it's all because of the bird flu. Really? That many chickens are now gone and we can't get eggs from, really? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but you got to be a rich person to eat eggs. That's food for the rich. Now, rest of us are stuck with ramen. Price of ramen ever goes up, I'm screwed, y'all. I love making my mom's spaghetti with green pepper and onions and mushrooms. My hubby and my two. Yes, yes, spaghetti. That's another one. And the same. My mom's spaghetti. Yes, it's gotta have the mushrooms in the sauce. Gotta have it. I used to get the little cans of stems and pieces mushrooms, but I've gotten to where now I will buy chopped mushrooms fresh and throw those in with my meat when I'm cooking the meat and let them cook down. And then just throw that right into the sauce. Yes. On average, Dreamer, they're getting to be like $6 and something for a dozen of them. It's getting to be ridiculous. Well, it wasn't that long ago, just a couple of years ago. I used to be able to go to the grocery store and get a dozen eggs for like $1.50. They were never the grade A larges, but they were small. They said they were grade A large, but I thinking they were more along the lines of grade A mediums because they weren't giant eggs, but they worked perfectly in whatever you needed eggs for. Yeah, bacon is 10. That's ridiculous. Can't nobody afford to eat breakfast now. Something has got to change and change soon because it's people got to eat. And I couldn't imagine an entire society trying to live off ramen. And then the price of ramen would go up and skyrocket, and then we'd all be screwed. Here's another hair. Ah, two more actually. Come on. That just broke it in half. All right, that one's gone. Welcome back, Brian. Hmm. Okay, y'all. How many of y'all listen to podcasts? I need recommendations. I listen to a few, but by the time I get all caught up, there's not enough there to really keep me busy all week. Like I can catch up on most of my podcasts I listen to in like 1 8 hour shift at work. Let me see. I throw my hands up. Hey, cereal is good. I could live off cereal. Um, Terry, I listen to. You know what? I listen to all kinds of weird things. It'd be one of those things I don't know. I listen to like there's this chick named Roma Army. I've been listening to her lately. She's kind of like a men's rights advocate. Um, been listening to, of course, Dale Jr.'s podcast. I listen to him all the time. Um, True Crime All the Time, which is a really good podcast. Those two guys are awesome. I've been listening to, is it called The History of Everything? Um, I think that's what it's called. Let me find it. Um, my library podcasts and shows. There we go. The weirdest thing I learned this week, um, theories of the third kind, which are kind of like about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Um, I listen to Art Bell. I love Art Bell. I've been catching up on all of his old shows because almost all of them are in podcast form now on either Google Podcasts or Spotify. The Metallica podcast is really good. And then I also listen to like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Dan Bongino, CJ Pearson. So I've got a varied list of podcasts, and there's another one called The History of Everything. The History of Everything. History for Weirdos. There's one called Ridiculous Crime. I think I may have to start listening to that one. True crime is more than blood, guts, mayhem, and murder. Zarin Burnett and Elizabeth Dutton share outlandish tales of capers, heists, and cons that shine a light on the absurd and outrageous side of criminality. Always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast by iHeartRadio. I'm going to start listening to that one. Hidden True Crime. Okay. Dreamer, this is the men's rights isn't anti-woman. It's anti-radical. Well, what's the best way to put it? Like, she stands up for men because men have so much pressure put on them to be providers and fixers of things around the house, and so many things that is expected of them, that if they fail to be able to do any of those things, a lot of men just end themselves, and because they feel like they can't do what they're supposed to do. And it's more along the lines of, women are all the time like, two women talk about meeting a new guy. All of her friends are going to ask her, what does he do? But two guys talking about one of the guys meeting a new woman. What's the first thing they're going to ask? What does she look like? So it's always about, making men more than just the provider and that type of thing. And allowing men to show their feelings and be human beings with feelings instead of having to stuff it away and just keep going for the sake of that's what's expected of them. Yes, and koala crafts, that's a big one that Roma Army goes for, is access to their children. Unless they're just a complete asshole and don't deserve it. Like if they're abusive or whatever, then no. But yeah. You just decided to go to bingo. Okay, Berta, have fun. Win lots of money. I'm sending you good luck so that way if you win lots of money, you can send me money. Now, see, on YouTube, I'm kind of SpaceX obsessed. I've been paying a lot of attention to what's going on with SpaceX and the Starship getting ready to launch its first orbital flight, which will make human history. So I've been paying a lot of attention to that. Berta's thinking about that one. Did I move? Yes, Safira's mom. Amber and I and her mom moved from North Dakota to Alabama in 2020. We've been here ever since, and then Amber and I split up this past January, so about a year ago. And I took a break from YouTube to kind of process it all, and because most of it was for YouTube part of it, most of it was that I started my channel just me, and it was only a couple of months of just me before Amber came in the picture, and then it was an us thing. And it took me a while to come to grips with trying to get on here and it being a me thing again. And so that's why I was gone for about a year. That was the main part of it. If you need money, do TikTok. A lot of beggars. I'm never going to, no, I am not going to ever get on social media and beg for money. I will announce that I have a buy me a coffee and that kind of thing. If somebody is generous enough to want to donate, I will mention that, but there's no way I would ever get on any kind of social media and beg for money. Oh, no, I haven't moved since January last year. I'm still in the same old apartment that we were in. She left. She left and moved out. I stayed here. Let me look that up, Emmy Sue. Hidden True Crime Podcast. Okay. Spotify. Hidden True Crime. Oh, is it called Hidden a True Crime Podcast? No, well, it looks different because I'm not on my desk. The desk over there that I'm normally at, because it's kind of cluttered. I set up a little folding table that faces the TV, because that way I can sit here and I can read the comments and stuff while I'm going live. And I do a lot of time on Zoom. And so while I'm sitting here during the day, whatever, crafting and doing, I'm on Zoom. And it's easier for me to sit like this so I can see the screen instead of having to turn my head to the left to see it. I wonder how much money he makes off of that, Dreamer. Is this the one, Emmy Sue? I mean, you can't really see the logo there behind the hidden, but there's a logo there that won't show up. Pull up a chair at our dinner table as the dynamic husband and wife duo of Dr. John Matthias, forensic psychologist, and Lauren Matthias, an investigative journalist, delve into the psychological facets of unthinkable crimes. Yep, that sounds like the one. Follow. Okay. I like true crime. There's one called Hidden History. It's a bi-weekly podcast by Ellis Tucci that covers the unknown and often intentionally hidden parts of history. That sounds good. I'm into that kind of stuff. Forbidden Archaeology, the hidden history of the human race. It's an hour and 47 minutes long, but it's not a podcast with episodes. Oh, yeah, it is. No, it's not. Added to my episodes. There we go. Oh, it's an episode of the Michael Deacon program. Michael Deacon. Cool. Crazy thing, people send him money paying his rent. Good Lord. You know, I see that a lot too in young ladies doing that. I see that more on Twitter than I do anything. I guess it's a kink. Um, some men want to be financially dominated by women, and they will send these young ladies thousands of dollars just to be talked to like trash on the internet. I don't get it. I'm not going to kink shame. That's not me. But if that's what they want to do with their money. And some of those young ladies are literally making thousands of dollars a week off of just talking to men like they're trash. And those men will send them money. Yep, that was the one. Okay, I followed it, so I'll take a listen to it when I have a chance. I got my Netflix back too, and I added a lot to my list. It's mostly documentaries, but what's anybody's recommendations on that? It's only Netflix. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Disney. I don't have Paramount. I don't have none of those others. I just have Netflix right now. But I spent 2 hours one day sitting there going through Netflix, adding shows to the podcast or to the list. And there's no way I went through all of it. I had a guy ask me for Amazon gift card, and I told him, go ask your mother. I'm not getting it for you. You know, Cindy Lee, it's funny. I got on for a while there. I got on Tinder and I got on Plenty of Fish and Match.com and Facebook dating. And you meet these people and they click like back to you. So you start a conversation with them and they live, you know, 3-4 hours away from you. And next thing you know, it's like you've been talking to them for a day and it's like, hey, I really need to get a new set of earbuds for my phone. Is there any way you could like send me like this much, or is there any way you could send me like a Visa gift card with X amount on it so that I can pay for my internet service this month? It's like, no, no. Yeah, I mean, Sue, I can't wait to listen to it. That does sound good, having an actual forensic psychologist and a investigative journalist talking. That'd be interesting. Yeah, Dreamer, I know. That's why I just stopped going to them. I figure I'll meet someone the old-fashioned way. And if you don't, and if you don't, if you don't find ones that are just begging for money, you'll end up getting in a conversation with somebody that you actually really kind of would like to get to know better, and then they ghost you just out of nowhere. And the reason why is because those people are talking to multiple people at one time, and then they're just gonna, when they meet one that they get along with better, they just stop talking to everybody else. No warning, no nothing, no like, hey, I'm glad to have met you, but I've met somebody else and I'm gonna go that way. It's they never tell you, they just ghost you. Oh no, Terry. Is it like early labor pains or other issues? Yes, sugar babies are a big thing amongst them. Yes. And there's so many guys willing to just part with their money for them. Not me. I don't have any money to part with. So I couldn't be nobody's sugar daddy. Well, I hope they figure out what's causing it and can at least get her comfortable until it's time to have the baby. So, y'all, maybe soon, sooner than later, actually, I may have a roommate. His name is Barkley. I know that. I've never actually met this guy, but Paul is trying to help me get things picked up, cleaned up around here so that he can get Barkley moved in. So I've got somebody to pay half the rent and half the bills. So if we have that, one, I will be able to save an awful lot of money. And two, it'd just be nice having somebody else around. But I mean, it'll be nice to have more of my own money left over at the end of a check, because right now I have zero left over at the end of a check. And I have really been the past year struggling. I've gone through my entire savings and I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck, and that's still not covering it. So it'd be nice to have somebody else here with the new jobs. I'll be making more, but having somebody else here to pay half the bills would make it even better. So things are looking up, slowly but surely. Emily the Criminal is a great movie. They wrote a movie about you, Emmy. They wrote a movie about you. So what did you do to get a movie written about you? Bright orange. Wow. Hold on a second here. I think Emmy Sue is a little bit behind us here. I've noticed the delayed answers. I don't think her little live is live. I'm with you now. Yeah, I figured you were a little bit behind because I saw how delayed your answers were. So what did you do to get this movie written about you? No, you're all good. A lot of people do it. I had one night. I had somebody, I can't remember who it was in live one night, that was literally like an hour behind and was answering questions that I had asked an hour previously. And we were all trying to tell them, hey, you need to click the live. But it's like, if you tell them that now, they're not going to hear it for another hour. And by then we'll be offline. All right, so that one I'll have to add to the Netflix list. Anybody else? Any good recommendations on Netflix, y'all? I'm movies, documentaries, whatever. I mean, I got the basics down. I've got Wednesday in my list, even though I haven't watched any of it yet. Um, Dahmer is in the list. I've watched Tiger King already. I might try to watch the second one. I don't know if it'll be as good as the first one because the first one was really entertaining. Um, Did y'all see though? Talking about the Tiger King, did y'all see the news that they think that they found Carol Baskin's husband? That he wasn't actually dead. Dude had to. I guess he did a pretty good job of making it appear that he died. Just must have been that bad. He had to get away from her. I guess. But I guess I would do the same thing because that woman's crazy. Vikings. The movie is that she didn't take Mr. Tickles out in time to make tickle sticks. Is Vikings on? Is Vikings on Netflix? I didn't see it because that was an HBO show, I think, or Showtime. I can't remember which, but it was one of the paid networks shows. Like it was actually kind of in direct competition with um, Game of Thrones. And I remember watching like the first episode of it, and I wanted to keep continuing. I never did. Oh, okay. It wasn't the HBO show Vikings. Vikings Valhalla. Okay. And I do have Stranger Things added, of course. I've got to watch Stranger Things. In fact, I'm 4 seasons behind on Stranger Things. I watched the first season and haven't watched since. It's set 100 years in the future from the original. Oh, okay. I need to watch the original though, don't I? They're tickle twigs. Well, I can download the original. I know where Pirate Bay is. So I can download the original series, I'm sure. In fact, I've got to download all of the episodes of the new Game of Thrones show too and get caught up on that. Maybe I will talk to my new roommate once he moves in, if it becomes a thing, and I'll talk to him about actually paying for cable and having HBO added so I can watch stuff like that. Yeah, Terry, Mr. Tickles is so cute. That little grin. The Last Kingdom on Netflix is a great one too. The Last Kingdom. Okay, I'll look that one up too. So, what are y'all working on right now? What kind of projects you got going on? Peaky Blinders. I saw that and I wasn't sure about it. It looked kind of weird ish. It looked kind of like a Rob Zombie thing, like something that Rob Zombie would make. Oh, a Haid. Ooh, awesome. I have I have a couple of cross stitches to work on. Once I finish the Carolyn Manning, I'm going to do Rockhound next, I think. I've already got it kitted up and ready to go. I've got the fabric for it, which is an awesome looking project. Show it to you here. You go to Pattern Keeper. I got a Pattern Keeper. Oh, that's right. I got a Pattern Keeper on my other phone. That is Rockhound by Carolyn Manning. So I'm going to do that one next. In fact, Emmy Sue just got all the stuff she needed for it as well. So I think we're going to collab on that one. And then I'm torn. Do I want to do Shooting Star, which is that one, or I have this one to do, which is actually pretty big. It's going to be like 21 and a half inches by 17 and a quarter. That one there. That's going to be pretty large. Or that one, which is going to be about the same size. It's going to be 24 and 3/8 wide by 16 and a quarter inches high. I'm going to do it on 14 count fabric. Which one of the two Bamas, Emmy Sue? The tailgate or the flag? Yeah, like I said, well, like I said when y'all weren't able to hear me earlier, I have not been doing much diamond painting at all. Like this little section here is all I've done in my lives. Like the little bit that you see here, that's all I've done, and I've only been doing diamond painting during my lives. I've been working on cross stitch ever since. So the tailgate one, yep. Hello, Momo Crafts. It's our Canadian Moose is here. Yeah, that'd be a little boring. Yes, Terry, I have gone down the rabbit hole. Yeah, Brian, you've always got a lot of projects going at once. You and Emmy Sue both. You lost your cousin just before Christmas and you couldn't say goodbye because she lives in another country. And you're now getting genetic testing for cancer. Or are you just getting genetic testing to find out if you got a chance of it, like the 23andMe, where it can tell you if it runs in the family tree. Serial starter. Yes. I was a serial starter for quite a while. It's always that new and exciting thing. You get it in and you're like, I want to start this because it's so pretty. I want to do it. And you start it with every intention of actually finishing it, but then you get tired of it, put it away and start something new when you get it. And then you end up with a whole pile of WIPs sitting there waiting for you to finish. I know in 2021, I hosted WIP Slash, an event for trying to slash your WIPs. And it kind of didn't go anywhere. I mean, not a lot of people took part in it. True, Emmy Sue, but you wouldn't need to finish if you didn't start at the beginning. I'm just as bad. I really am. I am just as bad. Because I'm going to tell you, once Wolf Along is over, more than likely, this is going to get hung back up in the closet in whatever shape whatever condition it's in. And it probably won't get pulled out again until next year. I'm still waiting on the drills, the replacement drills from Royal. They're about 8 weeks behind in their processing of orders, and mine wasn't really an order. Mine was a replacement of drills. So I'm kind of probably low on that priority list, which I'm not going to complain about because I've had the damn thing now since 2019, so or 2020. So it's not like it's going anywhere before then. But I do need to sit down one of these days and pull it back up over the desk, that Magic Castle. I need to pull all the drills off of it that I've already put on, so I get it ready for all the new drills. Oh, it is in the family. Cancer killed about 6 or more of my great aunts and uncles on my father's mother's side of the family. She was one of 11. Only 3 didn't have cancer that I know about. My father died of cancer back in 98. My uncle just survived prostate cancer. My other cousin died of DIPG, and the cousin that just passed had stomach and brain. At this very moment, I'm working on part of the world. Stitching along, I'm no longer a monogamous stitcher. Yeah. I also have Madame Lafitte kitted up, and Autism Heart started, and Autumn Farm. Do half an hour a day. I might do that. I would never get anything done if I just worked on each WIP a half hour a day. I'm seeing a genetic counselor to see if I have Lynch syndrome or something similar. Oh, wow. So what is DIPG? It's a fatal childhood cancer that's in the brainstem. Oh. Same as craft and clean. Half an hour, take up drills, and the other half work on WIP. Yeah, I could do that. But yeah. But if I'm going to work on a diamond painting WIP, then I have to pull that back down and roll it back up and everything in order to put the new one, put the WIP back on the table. Constantly switching out back and forth. It's kind of a pain. What I'll probably end up doing is I'll leave. I've still got it down here at the foot of my desk where I had it when I started working on it. And I just kind of pulled it off the desk and rolled it around the homemade toilet paper roller that I made for it. And it's just sitting there waiting. So when I get the new drills in, more than likely I'll just sit and spend an entire day just pulling all the drills off before I start on it. It's almost always fatal as there is no real treatment for it. Wow. So one of my hiking buddies has been diagnosed with myeloma. Um, he has been put into what did he call it? Temporary remission or mild remission. He called it something like that. I can't remember. Let me find it because he updated it on us. He updated us on it not long ago, and it was actually kind of a good update. Oh, he was at the UAMS Myeloma Center for almost 4 weeks. He was in ICU once and was hospitalized for 4 days. He's recovering from the chemo. After weeks of treatment, the oncologist said his cancer is in partial remission, and he's back home getting rest. They go back in 3 weeks, figure out the next phase of chemo. They stop the cancer's movement and the bone destruction, but still have a long road ahead. But they're hopeful. Unfortunately, the research I've done is myeloma is usually not survivable. Um, it just it's just slower than a lot of them. Complex PTSD. I think I have PTSD. I just don't know for a fact. I've never been diagnosed. I was officially diagnosed with depression, but I don't take any kind of meds for it. Maybe I should, but I end up with side effects that I don't like from depression meds. I'm allergic to Paxil, so I know I can't take that. But Wellbutrin, I have side effects from Wellbutrin that I personally don't like, but whoever I'm dating enjoys it. I have the inability to finish what I started, if you get the meaning. So when I'm on Wellbutrin, I can just keep going all night long, all day the next day, all night that night. I just can't finish what I started. Well, I'll tell you, it helped me quit smoking. Wellbutrin did. And it helped me feel better on a day to day basis. Like I was more able to get things done and have more motivation to get up and do things around the house, like cleaning and stuff that needed to get done. But again, like I said, that one side effect just kind of, I had to stop taking it for that. Yeah, this is kind of like a reunion here with you, Saphira's mama. It's been a long time since I've seen you. Yep. Yeah, you gonna hop on Zoom tonight, Beth, after get done here? You know me, that's where I'll be. So y'all got to see this. Y'all got to see this fabric I got to do rock hound on. The picture shows it on a blue fabric, and they give you the link in the pattern where to get the fabric from, and I went and looked at it, and it was like $36 for the piece big enough that I needed. And instead, I went to Michael's and I found this really cool one. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up good or not because it usually doesn't, especially when I'm on Zoom. But you can kind of, yes, you can see it there now. It's got some blue and some pink, and it's got some yellow in there that the camera really isn't picking up. Like down in through here, there's some yellow. When it's in the, there it is. When it's in shadow, you can see it better on the camera. I gotta put this back in too, because I don't want nothing to happen to it before I start that. Flip that around. I picked that up at Michael's. It was only like $10 for a 15 by 18. Oh, I'm doing okay, Beth. I'm alive over here. You saw my little project I did yesterday. I'm so proud. I'm actually, you know what? I am gonna toot my own horn on that one because I feel like I deserve to. That was a pretty painting, and I'm surprised I did it, and I'm gonna start doing more of them now. The cleanup is the only bad part. I hate doing the cleanup, and I've got to do a setup for it too. I got to put plastic down and everything to keep from getting stuff on the carpet and the walls and everything else. I actually was able to do the beat the devil out of it, which works so much better than that little thing that goes in a wastebasket, the little beater rack thing. The just banging it on the leg of the easel like Bob does just works perfect. But cleanup is a bitch. And then I can't use my easel at least for another few days until this painting dries enough that I can touch it. That's the thing Bob doesn't tell you. Okay, Brian. Bob tells you how anybody can do this, but he doesn't tell you about when you get done, you've got about an hour and a half of cleanup to do afterwards. And you're going to have paint all over you and all over the walls and all over everything. And you're going to have odorless thinner all over everything because it splashes out of the bucket when you're swishing your brush around in there. Yeah, see, he doesn't tell you all of that good stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how in the world Bob doesn't have paint scattered everywhere all over his palette when he's done. He's always got this little strip just pulled out of each color that he's worked on. And maybe a little spot over here, a little spot over there where he's mixed a couple of colors together and worked on them to make the mountain or mixed them together to make these trees. My God, I had splotches of different colors and mixed paint all over this giant Bob Ross palette. The same one he carries, the whole thing was just covered in spots of paint everywhere where I had mixed colors and everything. I'm like, how does Bob do this? I had paint there was so much paint all over the palette that there was some over on the edge of it and it got all over the front of my shirt. Like I've got to soak that shirt in odorless thinner just to get all the oil paint off of it and then hope it comes out when I wash it. I mean, the shirt I bought specifically for wearing as part of the Bob Ross costume, but Bob never had paint all over him at the end of his episodes. Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Bob is magical. He has powers. But yeah, I have now discovered that I love doing it now that I've actually done it and succeeded. And now it's becoming a thing that's just another thing I do amongst all the other things I do. Actually, no, Saphira's mama, they never once, I think they said they only one time in the whole history of the show, 31 seasons, that they ever cut on his show where what you saw was what they filmed. He actually did every single painting in a half hour, actually 26 minutes, and they never Bob did not like the idea of them editing anything. He wanted people to be able to see exactly how it's done and without skipping or cutting or anything. He wanted them to see the process exactly as he does it. And so yeah, they didn't edit his shows at all. And usually he would go to Muncie, Indiana, and he would film for a week and have all 13 episodes done in a week or several days. He would normally film about three paintings a day, and he'd have all 13 paintings for the episode done in a week. And then but he had three, I think they said he had three versions of every single painting you saw on the show. There were three versions of. One stayed with him and now with the Kowalskis. Um, One went to a PBS station somewhere. It was kind of gifted to a PBS station who then would auction it off on theirs for one of their fundraisers for the PBS station. And then the third one was the one he did on air, which I I'm not sure where that one went. No, I take that back. One went to the PBS station in Indiana, I think, or it went to a PBS station for them to keep and hang in their station. And then one went to him, to the Bob Ross company, and then the other one went to a PBS station randomly for uh, fundraising, for them to sell for fundraising. So there are some Bob Ross paintings out in the wild that were privately owned. Um, they're just really, really hard to find, and people don't want to come off of them. And there is an exhibition happening in November next year, or November this year, um, in North Carolina. It's at the North Carolina Wesleyan University. They're going to have 100 or so Bob Ross actual paintings that he did on display there at the Dunn Center. Um, it's only 15 or 25 bucks a person to get in. So I'm planning a trip there in November to go to that because I want to see his stuff in person. Beth, I don't think I'm going to dress up every time I paint. No, nope. No, I'm just going to end up painting in whatever I've got on. I mean, it would be ridiculous to dress up every time I paint. But I am going to probably paint live on one of my lives one night. And then I might do a paint along video recorded. I don't know yet. Um, I haven't figured that out yet, if I'm going to do that or not. I've got to find another Bob video that I want to paint that I know that I can do. actually weren't his paintings actually the wild. Well, yeah, you could say that. You know that he only ever did on the show, he only did one painting of an actual location. All of the others were just made up. They were just out of his imagination. And he had painted the paintings before filming. So he had the good version of it with all the little details and everything. The one you saw him do on air was actually not nearly as detailed as the one that he was trying to mimic filming the show. So when he was filming, he was actually looking off screen at that painting already completed and was using it as a guide to go by. So whenever he's like, you know what, let's get crazy, let's do this, let's pick a spot here and be brave and put a tree in right here. But he actually knew what he was about to do before he said that. It was kind of strange to hear all that and understand that he was really good at what he did. And I want to get up to Muncie, Indiana too, because you can still go to what used to be the old PBS station. It was like an old house. Um, and they have things set up in there where you can see where he used to do his painting at and everything like that. And then after they started out doing filming in there, and then they went to an actual studio somewhere in Muncie. I can't remember where, but they still have the studio set up. I saw pictures of it online the other day. You can actually go there and walk in and look at that studio. You can't touch anything, but they have his actual brushes he used when he was filming and his actual easel still sitting in the spot where it was, and the cameras are still there. And you could see it was just a little tiny room. And I would love to go there and see that. Yep, Beth, it's wintertime in Illinois. Really hot there. See, that's what I need to do. In here in the U.S., we have them. We call them snowbirds. They're people that live up north, and they go to Florida for the winter, and then they go back north to their house in the summer, and they just keep doing that every year. I need to be a snowbird, but see, I need to live in the U.S. during the summer, and then move to Australia in the winter here, and then move back to U.S. in summer, so that way I get the endless summer, which, by the way, was a really good movie. The original Endless Summer was a really good movie. I'm not into surfing, but that was still a really good movie. Yeah, Dallas is getting ready to be reminded again that it's winter. We forgot what winter is here. Winter for us is 40 degrees and windy and rainy. If it gets below 40, everybody's like in parkas and calling out from work. And don't even put snow in the forecast. If you put snow in the forecast, even the chance of snow in the forecast, schools close. I thought that was so funny a couple years ago. The kids were out of school because the night before they had the news forecast. The night before said, there's a chance we're going to see some snow accumulations, maybe about an inch, mostly in grassy areas because the roads are still too warm for the snow to stick on. And then they started listing the schools that had already decided to close ahead of time off of a forecast. They didn't even wait for it to actually snow. They did it off of a forecast. And I kind of just laughed at them. I was like, in Maryland, yeah, I understand, it snows and they want to close school, but they at least waited till the morning of and decided whether it was good enough to go to school on or not. These people are closing school ahead of time based on a forecast, which we all know the weather forecasting is not an exact science. We did end up getting what they called for. We have wet roads. It was like 35, 36 degrees. The snow stuck and turned to kind of like a whitish slush on the grass. It wasn't dangerous to drive on, and they still closed school. High tomorrow is 39. How y'all gonna get ice if it's 39? You're gonna get it overnight? It'd be kind of treacherous in the morning, but bridges and overpasses might stay frozen. I don't know, but they throw some salt down, which I'm sure they got some salt trucks there. At least they did when I lived in Dallas. Rain today is supposed to tomorrow and Tuesday. Well, I get it, Terry. In Maryland, it got to the point where they were delaying school because of fog. And I thought that was odd because when I grew up, especially on the eastern shore of Maryland, which is over by Delaware, um, we're right in between the Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. So you're going to have really foggy mornings there a lot. And there was supposedly, I think there was a school bus accident that injured some kids. It was after I got out of school and had grown up and moved away. But there was some kind of a school bus accident and it injured some kids. And after that, they stopped going in on time on foggy mornings. They'd have like a 2-hour delay. I just thought that was kind of weird. But I get it. They want to keep the kids safe. But I just think it's odd down here they do it because of a forecast. They don't actually wait to see if it snows or if it's a forecast. This could happen. Oh, we're closing school. Oh, starting at 9 a.m. Well, yeah, if your low is going to be below freezing, it probably won't be above freezing before 9 a.m. But I would think that by evening rush hour, if the temperature is getting up to 39, that by evening rush hour, it'd just be wet roads. Never get snow in Sydney. Well, there are parts of the U.S. that have never seen snow. We've got parts of it here, like South Texas, I guarantee, has never seen snow. Um, Southern Arizona, Southern New Mexico, places like San Diego, Los Angeles, South Florida. And there's even Mobile, Alabama has never seen snow. It's kind of weird. When I was growing up, my real mom's husband was from Mobile, and he had never seen snow until he got stationed in Germany in the army. I was 10 years old, so that would have made my mom 30, my real mom 30, and her husband was about the same age, so made him somewhere between 30 and 40. I think he was like 35 at the time. Um, he was really well into his career in the army. He had been a Vietnam veteran, so he'd been in the army for quite a while, but he had never seen snow until he got stationed in Germany in the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, all the way down to Tampa. Yeah, I know that. It's like, yeah, that like Tampa to Orlando line is where you from there south you usually don't get ever see snow. If they do, they'd freak out. I finished that color. Hernando County. Where is Hernando County? I'm not geographically astute when it comes to Florida counties. Oh, an hour north of Tampa. Oh, okay. I don't need to dump these out. I've only got a few. Well, I'll dump a few in there. That's enough. Nothing ever sticks. Yep. You know, because the ground is always too warm. I mean, even if you get a little cold snap for a few days, the ground is holding so much warmth that it doesn't get cold enough to hold snow. That was the problem where I lived in Maryland, the Eastern Shore. Like, because of our geographic location and our proximity to the bay and the ocean, we stayed a little warmer on our side of the state than the people on the western side did. And so they would always get snow, and the rain snow line would always cut off right on the western shore of the Chesapeake Bay, and it would be rain on our side and snowing on the other side. Every now and then a storm come along that was strong enough to actually put snow on our side of the bay. But then at the same time, we didn't get nearly as much as what the people in the west did because our ground was always a little warmer and it didn't hold snow at the beginning of the storm. So half of the storm it just would melt, and then it would start sticking on the second half, and we'd end up getting about half as much as what they got on the western shore. Oh, really, Sarah? I would not have ever known that. What part of South Texas? Okay, Emmy Sue, we'll see you later. Deep south, close to Mexico. Oh, okay. Like down the Brownsville area. But that's still got to be a really freak snowstorm to go down that far south, because I've been down to Brownsville. I was down at Brownsville one year, like a week before Christmas, and it was like 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees and the wind was blowing really strong. I remember that I was there for like, well, I sat there for like 2.5 hours in a loading dock at a warehouse getting loaded to get a load out of there when I was truck driving. And it was like a week before Christmas. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it has at some point. I mean, it's still just really odd to see snow that far south. Don't have any of those. I got those. Okay. See, I want to come down to Brownsville. I want to come down there and see Starbase. Drive down the road that goes to the beach there, so I can see the launch pad and the launch tower up close. And hopefully there'll be a starship sitting there for testing or something that I can see as I go by. In fact, every year the one channel I watch on YouTube, Lab Padre, has um, the people that are in there call themselves Nerdle, the Nerdle community, and they have a Nerdle convention in Brownsville, where everybody comes down there and they get together and just kind of party together for a weekend. It's kind of like a retreat for nerds. And it's mainly just the people that watch the YouTube channel live streams and chat in the live streams a lot. And I've been doing that a lot recently. And I'd like to go down there for that. They do all kinds of SpaceX related things. Like they go out on the beach down by Starbase to go clean the beach, quote unquote, clean the beach. What they're really doing is looking for parts of the spacecraft or the parts of the starships and test items that have blown up and that are buried in the sand. Yes, Beth, I have. Just went up there 3 weeks ago for my granddaughter's cheer competition. It started snowing somewhere around 11:30 p.m. Christmas Eve into Christmas morning. It stayed for most of Christmas Day if the snow was in the shade. If it was in the shade, I like that. Yeah, I went up there, Beth, for my granddaughter's cheer competition last 2 month ago, something like that. Um, we took Amber's brother up there. That's where we took him and dropped him off at. He's a homeless up there somewhere in Huntsville now. When I was a kid, I came and stayed here in Anniston, Alabama for 2 summers. And one of those summers, they took me up to the Space and Rocket Center. I got to tour it and go around there. Now they've changed it a lot since I've been there, because now they have a full size Saturn V standing out front, vertical, which is the only place in the country you can go to see a Saturn V standing vertically. Um, they've got a big space shuttle replica. It's not even really a replica. It actually had flown. It didn't fly in space. It was a test article that was built at the same time as Enterprise. It didn't have any heat shield tiles or anything like that. It was just used as a prototype for to test the ability of it to fly. And they have that sitting outside on top of actual solid rocket boosters and a tank. It's kind of sitting on a platform outside the building. It's really cool. Yeah, Sarah, I love Lab Padre because they have a live cam that sits uh, 79 meters. I've actually measured that on Google Maps. 79 meters from the launch platform. And right now, they have Booster 7 sitting on the OLM, which is the launch platform. They have Booster 7 sitting there, and they just took Ship 24 off the top of it and they moved it over to they call it the Rocket Garden, so that they can take the lifting hooks off the top of it and replace it with the uh, heat shield tiles. And they're going to restack it back on Booster 7 and they're going to launch it. They're going to do the 33 engine static fire soon. And so I keep it on like a lot in the background while I'm sitting here, whatever I'm doing. And because I want to see them do the static fire from 70 meters away. And then, of course, I'm sure there will be a lot of places live streaming the first orbital launch, the orbital test launch. But yeah, I do want to go back, Beth. I want to go back to the Space and Rocket Center and see it now as an adult. When I was a kid, I was trying to get my mom to let me go to space camp, and we couldn't afford it. Um, but I wanted to go to space camp so bad. Get the blue jumpsuit and get to pretend I'm an astronaut for a couple of weeks. Yes. In fact, that's still one of my favorite movies from the 80s. Is Space Camp with Kate Capshaw and Tom Skerritt and um, Leah Thompson was in it. Kelly Preston was in it. I don't think they're gonna. They actually have a road closure scheduled for uh, tomorrow and Tuesday, or yeah, tomorrow and Tuesday. So they might put the static fire in there for that time. I have to check in on the cams and find out what's going on because they may be trying to redo the concrete under the pad because they've been having problems with it. The 14 engine static fire, they blew little concrete chunks, hundreds of meters away, and they had some bags of Fondag, which is explosion and heat proof concrete, and everybody thought they were putting Fondag under the pad, but really what they were doing was just basically sacrificing regular concrete because they needed to do another static fire right away, and they did an 11 engine and did the same thing, blew concrete everywhere, because the same amount of bags of Fondag they had delivered are still sitting out there waiting to be used. So they may wait and do it. They may do the Fondag before they do the launch. We've gotten to the point on that live stream on the rover cam. It's like the rover 2 cam. We've gotten into that live stream. We've gotten to the point where we can tell you what's about to happen as different things happen with all of the pipes and pumps and everything. You can tell what's venting where. You know what's going on. It's kind of really odd. I'm sitting here like watching them fuel this rocket up. and I can tell you, oh, they're pre-chilling the lines over here so that they can start pumping liquid through them. It's pretty intense, and we all sit there and speculate as to what's going on and what's going to happen and why they did this or did that. Because SpaceX doesn't exactly announce their intentions of what they're doing when they're testing. So when we see the tank farm come to life, we all like start speculating as to what they're going to do and why we feel that they're going to do that. In fact, you're not allowed to state anything as fact in there unless you can back it up with documented proof. Yeah, I love going to Huntsville. I think this summer I'm going to make it a point to go up to the Space and Rocket Center and actually see it. Like, go through it again, pay the admission. That's where I learned about IMAX when I was a kid in the 80s. They had this dome that was sometimes a planetarium, but they used it as an IMAX theater. And you sat in seats that leaned back, and they showed like these giant, like Hail Columbia was the one I went and saw in there. And it was just the whole ceiling was like this giant movie screen, and it was in like super high definition. And it was just so realistic, like watching the space shuttle launch. And they had one part where the escape baskets that come off the tower, they jump in it, and it's like a long zip line that goes all the way down to the ground, like a half a mile away or something. They take you for a ride first person on one of those, and you can actually feel yourself going down this thing. It was so cool just because you were so immersed in it. And that's what I thought. I hadn't been to an IMAX movie since then. So when I went to go see Top Gun, the new Top Gun in IMAX, I thought, oh, it's going to be like that. And I was kind of disappointed that the IMAX theater wasn't like a dome that you sat back and looked at the ceiling. They should have had that, Beth. They still show the IMAX movies there, but you have to pay extra to go into them. It's not like part of the admission. Oh, late 70s. Okay. I went I went in the early 80s. I think 83, 84 is when I went to see it with the IMAX and all that. Um, I do remember that back then, you part of your admission was you could pay just admission to the museum, but I think they had a package where you got admission to the museum, you got to do the Space Dome, which was the IMAX show, and then they also did a bus out to the Marshall Space Flight Center or the Redstone uh, Arsenal, which is where they actually built rockets, and you could go out there and tour that too as part of the thing, and that was so cool. We actually got to go out there where they were putting together solid rocket boosters, and they would ship them by barge down to Florida where they would be mated with the shuttle. And we got to see one of the sections of a solid rocket booster, and just they're huge. You just don't realize how big these things are until you see them in person. Now, I've actually seen Space Shuttle Discovery up close. I've got pictures of myself standing in front of it. Um, it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. That's at the Udvar Hazy Center in outside of Dulles Airport. It's part of the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. I spent like I went out there specifically to see the Discovery, But they've got so many other planes in there and so many other different aircraft of different sorts. And they've got like satellites that never got launched, or it's the backup version. Because for every satellite that goes up there, there's a backup version of it already made too. They make two of everything in case something happens on launch. With that one, they've got a backup to put up there. But if they never end up having to use the backup, then it goes into the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum usually. And they've got like all kinds of stuff in this giant hangar. But the shuttle is kind of like the centerpiece. I spent like 3 hours just taking detailed pictures of like every part of the shuttle I can take. Like there's parts of it where you at the back end of it where the engines are, it overhangs the roped off area, and you can actually get underneath the shuttle and look up at the tiles and stuff. And on TV, like where the word Discovery is written behind the cockpit on the side, it's like you don't realize how on TV they see it and it looks like it's nicely printed on there and everything. No, it's spray painted on there with a stencil because you can actually see the overspray when you don't see it in person. But of course, on TV, it doesn't pick up those details from like 3 miles away. All right. Good night, Cindy Lee. Yes, you got me on my subject now. It's space. I love space. That was my dream job growing up. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a fighter pilot and then apply for NASA and become a pilot, a shuttle astronaut, and fly on the shuttle. And I never made it. Never even made it to flight school in the Navy because I never made it to the academy. So I was stuck being an enlisted person, and enlisted people do not go to flight school. But I did have a shuttle flight manual when I was in high school. Don't ask me how I got it. It was given to me, but it was an actual shuttle flight manual. And I don't know what happened to it. Somewhere in all the moving around throughout the years, it got lost. Wish I still had it because that'd be worth some money right now. I'm sure some museum somewhere would love to pay good money for that. Um, I don't know, Terry. I mean, yeah, that's one of those things. I don't know if I would sell it or if I would keep it. Yeah, I don't know. That's something. They would have to offer me the right amount of money at the right time. That kind of would end up being how it would be. If they offer me the right amount of money at the right time, I probably would get rid of it. But if I knew it was going to a good place, like I wouldn't just sell it to another person who wanted it for their private collection. I would sell it to a museum. for the right cost, because then at least I know it's going to a place where it's going to be taken care of. It's going to be put on display. Other people will be able to enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got collectible things here right now that I probably never will sell, but it's nice knowing that you have something of value that if you absolutely ever had to, you could at least. That noise is my phone. My theme on my phone is Alabama, and the sound is my notification sound when I get a text or I get a notification from Facebook or whatever. It's the crowd yelling "Roll Tide, roll." My my ringtone is the Alabama fight song. Um, Details. Let me find it. There it is. So yeah, that's my phone. Just keep getting notifications from Facebook and everything else. I don't know, Beth. I haven't had to use an alarm since I got that. But you know what? I doubt it would. I will say that dubstep one you sent me, that Skrillex one, yeah, that one kind of worked, but it only worked on like the second or third alarm. So I had one set because I had to be at work at 8, and I like to get up at like 6, between 6 and 6:30 usually if I was going to work at 8. And so I'd set an alarm for 6, 6:15, and 6:30 on Alexa. And then on my phone, I would set one. No, Alexa was 6, 6:30, and 7. And in my phone, I had one for 6:15 and 6:45. And then I would actually put one for 6 at 7:30 as well, just in case the other ones didn't get me up. I've actually slept through all of them at one time, but the ones that did wake me up, normally was the dubstep one that you sent me. That worked really well. But I don't know. I'd maybe need to try this one for an alarm and see if it works because it is loud and it's kind of obnoxious. Then again, sound at night doesn't it doesn't do like it does for other people. And for me, I've learned to block out sound, so that's why alarms don't work for me. I did find I found a watch It looks like a watch. If you wear it on your arm, it looks like a watch. It doesn't tell the time or anything, but it does connect to your phone as you set your phone alarm, or you use the app that connects with this thing by Bluetooth or whatever, and you set an alarm in that app, and it plays a ringtone to wake you up. But it also, this little watch has a little zapper in it, like a shock collar, and it shocks you to wake you up every morning. Actually, Beth, to me, dubstep is not. I love dubstep music, so it's not really annoying to me, but it is loud. I'm my own snooze button. And the bad part is a lot of these alarms, I sleep through them, but yet I actually am able to, like, when Alexa's alarm goes off, I'm actually able to say, Alexa, stop, and it hears me and it stops. I just don't remember doing it. Because an Alexa alarm will keep going off until you tell it to stop. What was that? Oh, it was my ice maker in the fridge. Okay. I just heard a noise. I was like, what in the world? Sounded like something was falling down outside. Meow, Hank. Hi. Did you finally wake up? Meow. I know why he woke up. His internal alarm just went off. Yeah. I know what time it is, almost. It's not quite yet. He's just sitting on the floor looking at me. Y'all all see this, like, look of doom. I'm getting the Hank look of death. Hank. Hank. What is it? What do you want? Meow. What? What, buddy? What do you want? What? It's not time yet. No, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. No. He will sit there for hours and stare at me like that at times because he wants something that I'm not giving him. Yeah, I know. Excuse my mess there. I've got my Whataburger bag from last night and my bacon jerky. No, that was Whataburger. Oh, I've got some here for him too, but it's just not time yet. He's got 20 minutes to wait. Oh, there's Arya. Hi. No, neighbors upstairs are moving around. They heard him. They heard the sound. Arya. Hey, Hank, get your nose out. You weirdo. You know who that is. I love Five Guys. I had Five Guys the other day. I love Five Guys because of their fries. Aria, hey. Five Guys had the best fries because I grew up near the ocean, near the beach, and Ocean City has a place called Thrashers. Hey, Ocean City has a place called Thrashers that they make fries, boardwalk fries. That's where the term boardwalk fries came from because of Thrashers French fries in in Ocean City, Maryland. And they serve their fries like that. They're just like hand cut. They've got the skin on them still, and they're deep fried in like peanut oil. And you order them, and they give you a lot of fries. And that's one of the things everybody goes to the beach for. It's like you have to have Thrasher's fries when you're at the beach, and so that's why I love Five Guys because their fries are exactly like the fries from the beach, and the fact that they make a fresh batch of fries for every order, and you don't just get the ones that they can fit in a cup. They just the ones they can't fit in a cup, they just dump in the bag. It's like yes. Hi Hank. Hello Cynthia. Oh, now he's gonna just lay down and get himself comfortable. Oh, he tried to lay down. It was a little tiny sticky spot there, and he got right back up as soon as he touched it. You so cute, buddy. Hey, Nana. There you are. Hank, you're a mess, buddy. You truly are a mess. I get nothing done when you want something because you're always right in the spot where I need to be. Yep, always. That's what you do. That's what you're good at. You're good at getting in my way until I get up and get you what you want. Oh, I hear you, Nana. I'm getting ready to hop off here anyway because obviously Hank says no more diamond painting for me until I get what he wants. So, hey, buddy. Hey, my buddy. And I hope everything's all well with you up there, other than rain. You know, it's funny because I was sitting here today. I get like when I fire up Windows and my computer, down in my taskbar, I get this little, little thing from like MSN. It's part of like Windows now, I guess. Maybe you can turn it off, maybe you can. I don't know. I leave it on. But it just shows you what the current conditions are. Like, look like a little icon, like it's like a little temperature gauge that's red if it's hot, one if it's blue if it's cold. And then it says next to it like heavy rain soon. Rain starts in less than an hour or something like that. It'll have like a little blurb there. And earlier today it said rain to end soon, and it hasn't stopped yet. Oh, it's okay, Nana. It's cool. I'm still going to call around down here and see. I have the number for like the local humane society and shelter and stuff. I just have to get the chance to call it and find out. They may have a place I can get it done free down here. I don't know. Um, I just have to call and explain the situation to them. But I'll let you know. I'll keep you informed what's going on there. But yeah, if you're able to get it done, definitely for sure. I bring her up there and we'll get her done because she's about to drive me nuts when she goes in the heat. Little Miss Princess up there in the cat tree now. She's gonna lay up there and wait for me to go get the good food, and then I'll put it up. I'll put it out for her. Hank will be sitting there eating his, and I'll look at her and say, "Aria, good food." And she will sit there and look at me until I come get her and pick her up and carry her to the good food. She's too good to jump down from the cat tree and walk to it. I have to carry her. Ain't that right? Huh? Yeah, that's what you do. I know. I love Hank. Poor Hank. I'm sitting here talking. He's reaching up and touching my face with his paw because he wants attention. I know, buddy. Yeah, she's a little princess. At least she thinks she is, anyway. All right, get up there, Hank. Yeah, get up on the chair behind me. All right, y'all. Oh, woke up at 7 this morning. It was pouring and ain't let up all day. Yeah, same thing here. It's like I get this little thing that says rain to end soon. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're just getting a little shower. Nope. It has been raining all day long. Heavy. Just been like a heavy pouring rain all day. I'm actually kind of tired of it, and it's only been today. It's like yesterday was nice. Yeah, at least it isn't snow, but I kind of miss the snow. I do. I kind of miss it. I don't miss the like 30 below that came with it, but I miss the snow. It's the one thing about North Dakota I do miss. Oh no. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I'll get out here and start building one now. I've got some like old wood around here I can probably use. Won't hold up for very long, but yeah, I miss the North Dakota snow, but I don't miss the 30 below. I was talking to Stephanie earlier about that, and she goes, "Oh, it's like 36 below out here at the wind chill," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't miss that." All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Hank's up here behind me on the chair, kind of nudging me constantly to let me know, "Dad, it's time. Dad, it's time." I swear, if Hank could talk, he would be, his voice would be Stewie from Family Guy. I swear he would be. I know for a fact that if he could talk, he would be Stewie from Family Guy. Oh, awesome, Nana. That's cool. I'm so glad for you. Yeah, that's really exciting. All right, y'all, I am going to call it now. It is time for Hank and Arya to get their good food. Hank hears that word, his ears perk up, and he looks at me. Arya's over there just cleaning herself. She don't care. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Beth. Hank be like, "Dad, Dad, Dad, Daddy, Dad, Daddy, Dad, Dad, Daddy, Daddy, Dad, Dad." I can hear him now. Should have named his ass Stewie. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a great week. I start my new job Wednesday. So next Sunday, I'll be able to tell you how it is and how I like it and how cool it is. And it's going to be an exciting week. So I will talk to y'all next Sunday. And till then, rock on and roll tide.